What's going on, everybody? It's Obua Gaming here, and today I'm bringing you guys something special, something from the brand new Minecraft 1.17 snapshot. It's going to be an AFK Amethyst farm. Now you see amethysts, when they spawn on their geode source blocks, and crystals will slowly grow out in all directions that are open to air or water. The crystals have 4 growing stages. As you can see ahead, that's the final stage, which it would be harvested at. The problem is it takes so long. You'd have to go down, harvest a few, and then wait forever. Instead, I made it so that when it gets to the 4th stage, those pistons come down and they smack the crystals off onto the ground, which is then collected. The way that it works is, since it has 4 growing stages, the observer right here will be able to detect every time that the block changes in front of it, and once it gets to 4 changes, it will activate all of the pistons. It's a pretty basic mechanism. I'll show you guys how to build it later, but it's definitely handy in several other builds as well as this one. Alright, well, let's get started. Before we get started, one note: when you're in survival mode, you're gonna have to dig down and find an amethyst cluster like this. It's the only spot that you could find crystals, but yeah, it's where you're gonna make your farm. So I'm gonna show you how to turn this into a fully functional AFK farm, something like this. Alright, man, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is get rid of anything that's not a budding amethyst. A budding amethyst is the blocks that the crystals grow on. They also have these X's right here. When you break the crystal, you can see them. Get rid of any blocks in a 15 by 15 by 15 cube that are not budding amethysts. If you get rid of the budding amethysts, then you will not be able to get crystals, so make sure that you keep them floating in place. Alright? Alright, so once you have it all chopped out, you should just be left with the budding amethyst like this. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put a trapdoor on the top and the bottom of the block. You can also just put a stone on the top if you'd like, and then put a stone or some type of building material above that and make kind of a plus shape like this. The reason that you're going to do this is you're going to come underneath and put a regular, not sticky piston underneath, just like that, at all 4 spots. That's the pistons that will actually harvest your amethyst for you. Alright, so next up, you're just going to have to make redstone lines to connect and power every piston here. Basically, when one switch comes on over here, you want all of them to be powered. Let's give it a test real quick. As you can see, they all came down. Perfect. If you can't get a piston on every spot, that's fine, just as long as you don't have any loops, so any clocks in the system, because you don't want the power staying on. Then you're going to want to knock out a little bit of space over here, probably 5 by 5 blocks, something like that, where you're actually going to make your circuit for powering this every time that the pistons come on. Alright, so next up you're going to want to put down an observer looking at one of the spots where the crystals grow, with a dropper directly behind it facing the opposite direction, and then a hopper that's stabbed into the face of the dropper. Just like that. Alright, then you come over next to the dropper, and you're actually going to put a comparator on the ground that's facing out, followed by a build block, and then on 2 sides of this build block, you're actually going to want to put redstone torches. Then you take your build block and place one right here, and then connect this torch to the pistons via 2 redstone. Alright, I've got to dig out this wall a little bit more, so give me a second. Alright, so next up you're actually going to take a build block and place it right there, and then stick a redstone torch on the side of it. Then take some redstone dust, and you're going to want to stick it on top of this build block, like so, and then on the ground next to it. Next step is to pull out comparators, and you're going to put 1 down, 2 down, and then 2 more facing the opposite direction, and then pull your redstone dust back out and connect the comparators. Easy as that. Your device is now done. All you have to do is add 4 stone into the dropper, not the hopper. Add it into the dropper. Alright, just one more thing on the circuit. You do need to add these 2 redstone here. it will connect the left side of the circuit to that redstone torch on the right. If you don't add this, the pistons will not retract and the system will only work once. Alright, so what you're going to do next is you're actually going to make a rail system that starts with a powered rail running into a wall and zips up and down the entire path below the crystals and ends with a powered rail running into a wall, so that basically it will zip up and down throughout every spot in the room and bounce back and forth. Alright, so now what you're going to do is at the end of the track you're going to build up a 2 tall wall like this to my right, and then you're going to put a hopper that stabs to the left so that it can stab into a chest, and a powered rail on top of it. Then where you just put that block, or if you just place down the chest first, go ahead and place your chest. This is actually going to be where you can collect all of your amethyst. For this part you'll also need a torch, a comparator, and a repeater. So go ahead and place your chest right there where the hopper is stabbing into. I'm going to make it a double chest, just so I have a little bit more room if I want to AFK here for a long time. Alright, so then the direct opposite side of your chest from where the hopper is, you're going to want to dig out a few spots so that you can make your collection system. Then you're going to want to place down 3 build blocks just like this. So you're going to put a comparator there facing left, a redstone torch on the wall of the bottom block, and a repeater facing to the right. Okay. What this will do is it actually will turn off the power to the powered rail that's on that hopper, that anytime that there's something in the hopper minecart. That way that if it comes back fully loaded, it will turn off power, it will unload everything. As soon as it's empty, it will turn on power again on its own, and it will take off. It's automated. It's an unloading system. Let me go ahead and put one more power block there just to make it a little bit faster. So as you can see, it's unloading right now. 20 blocks left. Once it gets down to 0, it should just take off on its own. And there it goes. Easy as that. This system is just about complete. We only have one step left, and that is going to be to actually cover these rails so that it drops and the hopper can collect it. So what you're going to do is every one of these spots in the room, you're just going to put a build block above it. Again, I like to use iron blocks because I think they look good, but you can use dirt, you can use anything you'd like. Alright, so the ground's all filled in. This is actually technically done at this point. It's ready to go. I do like to throw down a few torches just to light it up so that mobs don't spawn in here. Nothing worse than a creeper showing up and blowing up your project. Torches, whether you put them on the ground or the wall, they have no effect at all on the spawn rate of the crystals or of the collection system. Alright, so now all you have to do is you have to wait down here. It may take a couple hours, honestly, if you're on just standard 3 ticks. But until then, just hang out.
2 hours later.
Alright, so the machine was just activated. As you can see, all the crystals are now knocked down. They're on the ground, and they're being collected. See them disappear? That's as the minecart goes underneath, collects them, and it's almost to the end. It's actually going to pull up right here, and it stopped because it's depositing them all in, as you can see. I'll go ahead and get rid of these ones that are in my inventory from the build. Alright, that's it. This is the Amethyst Farm for 1.17. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, otherwise an Enderman's going to come over and he's going to take the one thing that's going to screw up your machine. Zobua out!